sitting one day, and as the universe provides when we allow, in a silent state, I was thinking about what words vibrate with me. I said, wow, first of all, I need to break away from what I was just doing. It's a break, a clean break. I've got to separate that business. And then how do I do that? It's not easy. It's difficult. We must stop and take a deep breath to catch ourselves, to bring us back to our center, disconnect, or break away from whether it's the family going to business. We must take that deep breath. Then think, what will we do to fully engage and bond into the next meeting or family outing or what have you that we're going to engage? We must separate. I've created the transition tool, which allows you to break, breathe, and bond right here. Made of fine sterling silver jewelry, yes, both large and small size, more of a woman's size and a men's size. They're available for children if you want to manage your child a little bit better, or a teenager. You put the words on there that matter, because words matter. We sculpt our thoughts. These are my 3 B's. Break, breathe, and bond. Keep your energy high. Transition. Make your day a piece of artwork. Sculpt your words. Sculpt your time. Sculpt your life.
Okay, can you start this? Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Where would it be afternoon? It might be afternoon someplace in Palau, maybe. I'm not sure. So the sun is rising. I don't know if anybody saw that full moon last night, that eclipse. I didn't. Maybe you did. But I guess it should be amazing. My name's Peter Stone, and I have learned a few lessons in life, like us all. And excuse me, I got a little sleepy phone here. I don't know what happened. Just stand by. Thanks. The buttons didn't get pressed. Okay. So, back at it. Sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so my name is Peter Stone, and I built a company because I chose the right words. Pretty simple. I'm sitting here in Bangkok, 1989, and actually, it was a little before. It was in 88. And I had been traveling a lot. And I made a trip to Sikkim. And people say, where is Sikkim? Sikkim used to be a country between Bhutan and Nepal. 200 miles tall, if you will, and to the north, and 60 miles wide. It was a kingdom. And I ended up there by default. I was trying to get the Nicobar and Andaman Islands in the Indian Ocean because they were on the map. And I love the sea. And in the Nicobar Islands, they eat people still. And I came to learn that they ate people in another northern part of India where they didn't want you to go. And I tried, but I just learned that like 3 months ago. Like, you don't know what you don't know. So I went the rough road to this little place called Sikkim. And it became a state of India, but it was a closed state. So you had to cross a border and you had to check your passport, all this. I stayed there for almost 3 weeks. And there was Mount Kanchenjunga, the third highest mountain near Everest, right? And it's Mount Kanchenjunga, the third highest mountain in the world. No one, not even a Sherpa, had climbed to the top of the mountain. Why? It was a holy mountain. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I end up in this totally spiritual place. I had no idea. So I wanted to go to this island. You know, it's almost like a tourist. There were no tourists back then going to places like that. It was a trading place, the Andaman Islands, for India, owned by India, in close to Burma and near Thailand, like 300 or 400 miles to the west. So I never made it, and I ended up in Sikkim. So along the pathway of life, we learn such lessons. Like I wanted to go here, I wanted to go there. And in this lesson, I learned this lesson probably like 4 years before, that God, the universe, your higher power, whoever it is, whatever it is, has greater plans for us than we could ever imagine ourselves, because we're limited and whatever is above is not limited, right? Right? It's limitless, but we're so like in our little worlds, right? And we think whatever's in our head is the right stuff. And, oh, I didn't get my way, and that didn't work out that way I wanted it to. You know what happens? If you stick to the game, you said, oh, I have these plans, like these rigid plans. So that's why I rarely plan, but I have a planner. I write my notes. I have a 3x5 cards. You know, I do the 6 things I got to do every day. And I don't need a fancy planner. I check myself when I wake up in the morning. I check myself in the evening. I do a couple of things. But along the journey, back in those days, I learned so much, and I still do, is that when I had my stores, I sent a container load of furniture that was nautical furniture from Taiwan, and there was a challenge. How was I going to get it through customs? Well, these people have been doing it for 30 years. They knew all about it. I knew nothing. It was a new venture. It arrived. I had worried. I used that word worry because I did back then. Like for 3 weeks straight, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I called them $13 a minute to the phone, and the thing showed up. And it was cleared. Next thing I know, I get a call from Miami. The shipment's in Miami, Peter. Come and pick it up. I'm like, what happened? Oh, divine intervention. Right? So back to Sikkim. I'm divine intervention again. So I met this guy from Sweden. He was from England. His girlfriend was from Switzerland. And he's from England. She's from Sweden. And I'm from America. And we're hanging out in Sikkim. Gangtok was the capital. I thought, how cool is that? From Bangkok to Gangtok. Same spelling. The letters started different with a B or a G. And so I'm in this place. And there are no tourists. They don't. This was the spring, and they didn't let people in unless you almost have an invitation. But I had no choice because it was the only place left I could go, because I couldn't go to the northwest of India, or I couldn't. That's where I ended up. I was guided there. I went there. I ended up at this tea plantation, this huge tea. I did this photo essays, the mountains, the fog, the haze. Then Mount Kanchenjunga. I said, I'm going to get there, and I'm going to go get a beautiful photograph. And all I saw in my head was, what did I see? I saw a picture-perfect, like, snapshot of a mountain, blue skies, perfect picture. That's what I saw. And that's what I was expecting when I woke up the next day at this hotel, is what it was. class. It had to be 100 years old anyway. So I came out in the morning. I had my breakfast. I came out and I'm like, oh man, totally disappointed. The sky was like the background of that jewelry behind me, totally gray. Clouds, moving clouds, unbelievable. So I have my Nikon F4 camera. I got the best camera. I took so many photographs because that's like my hobby. And I do that all over the world. So in between the year of 88 and 90, I took over 10,000 photographs pretty much around the world. And in Thailand, I did a lot of experimenting with life. So I'm outside and I'm like, damn, I didn't get it my way again. Man, I didn't say it that way. I was just so disappointed. Like, and the sun, it's not going to open. I mean, the sky isn't going to clear. I thought, before I learned a lot of stuff about intention and expectation. So I'm walking out in this big space in front of the hotel, like a big yard, and there's like a cliff that drops down, and there's the mountain up there someplace. I don't know where it is. And because the people told me, like the mountain's there, but you can't see it. So like my camera's ready. I'm just there, and it's just like deflated. The sky, the clouds opened up. And as I looked up again, and there was the peak of the mountain framed in the clouds. Pew, pew, pew. I got it. Framed in the clouds, so much more than a picture-perfect postcard photograph. What a gift. And obviously, I never forget that. I have that photograph in my home in both America and here in Thailand. And there is something like up off to the right of the mountain. Don't ask me. I'm not going to go into the details. Looks like could be a spirit or something. I'm not intoning anything, but the way I feel about it is pretty magical. So I got that picture and I'm like, oh my God. And it took us the better part of like 6 hours to go 15 miles the day before to get to this place. Potholes, dirt roads, cliffhangers, like, the things you see in videos and on YouTube. I mean, just unbelievable. Adventure. You go out in the field. You couldn't walk very far because it was the spring and it was like the rainy season. And you had to take tobacco. What they did was they took tobacco and they put it in a jar with salt and water, and you shake it up and you put that around your socks and your shoes on your ankles, because the what are those things? Bloodsuckers, the leeches are everywhere. Like, you can't stop walking in a pathway or boom, they're there. They're like that thick. And but you can walk through the towns and things like that, but out in the countryside, in the mountains and in the woods, even when I was going to the temples to photograph these little temples, there are the most Tibetan people. It was a refuge for Tibetan people. And there are more temples and more temples than any place in the world in Sikkim per capita, per square mile, because a lot of Tibetans came into Sikkim in the 50s. And my guide, he was Tibetan, and he, Dorji, he was a school teacher, but he also was a money collector. He recognized visitors came into town, and they helped fund his school. So he would befriend them, and he was really a nice guy, and he lined up his friends and ladies and these women, I would get them walking down the stairways in their colorful saris and the sun beaming through, and I would photograph this. I mean, just 3 weeks. And then probably it was Bob Dylan was sitting in one restaurant one afternoon. Bob Dylan, very spiritual guy. It was right in his period when he was finding God, if you will. And him and another guy sitting, playing music alone in the afternoon. No one there, just doing life in a spiritual way. And I, to the day, believe it was Bob Dylan. Whatever that's worth, I think is pretty, what an experience. I just tell you, that was not my decision that I ended up there for 3 weeks, met these people, and this guy from England was on a spiritual track. He went there purposely because he heard of the prayer flags and the spiritual lake. So he went out one day to the lake. We went to the lake, and he was going to go off and find himself. I never forget it. He had a leather jacket, long leather jacket, and his girlfriend stayed back, and he went out in the woods for like 4 hours. I said, "You're crazy. You know the leeches. They're all around in the trees." He came back. He was covered, like his jacket, his body. And he was like, but I don't know to the day how, I don't know what happened inside. He was a little freaked out, but we wanted to know, did you accomplish your mission? And when we decide how are we going to verbalize these happenings, when I got to Sikkim, I wanted to go to the ocean. I ended up in the mountains, totally opposite. High in the mountains, high in the Himalayas, in a new country. I wasn't a new country, it was India, but it was just probably 10 or 15 years before that, taken over by India. And whoa, just an experience for 3 weeks, right? And allow yourself to flow with life. So learning the words, I really took a hard dive in 1982 when I decided to do some recovery, because I had partied for 12 years. And I really started paying attention to words in books, especially self-help books. And I rewrote a self-help book. Why? Because as I spoke the other day, a couple of weeks ago, about, the problem. Most people, actually, it's the drama of the problem people love to engage in. I mean, it's like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just humankind, but it's not my humankind. It's not, I don't consider it kind at all. I think, why wallow in that stuff? And that's one word I learned, wallowing in your stuff, right? It's just like, this is all around, this ooze of BS, this ooze of everything's bad. And you know what? Oh, look what I was given. I can't do anything about it. No, totally no. So you make the change, right? You make the change. You choose words. You learn words. So I read all these books. I read books, self-help, 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 self-help. I mean, I got libraries from all over the world. And then one day I decided, you know what? They're all the same. Different author, different words. Same words, really. Different structure, different story. And I said, that's it. I said, I went to a commodity trading seminar, and this guy taught about mindset. And how when you see an opportunity online, it's like you got to have enough faith in yourself to buy or sell. That's it. Oh, I hope, and oh, I don't know, and second guess. No, now moment opportunity. So I took his book, because he talked 60% about the problem, not the solution. Because if you're writing a book and you're talking about a solution, then the book's going to be really skinny. Who is going to pay $24.95 for a skinny little book? They haven't packed it with stuff that you definitely don't need to reread because you're already living in that stuff. You know why you picked up the book. You're looking for a solution, not to be pulled back into the same thing that you're trying to forget about or find a solution. Self-help. No, that's like dropping the anchor double time because you're already anchored there to all that crap. And now you got to move forward and you got to cut those anchors. But reading another self-help book that's 60% low, you know how bad this is, and you know how you did this. Yeah, I sure as hell do. That's why I'm here. And you want to keep talking about it? Why? Take me forward. Lift me up. I know the problem, the challenge. I know all that stuff. What are you going to do? I rewrote the book in all positive words. Why? Because I'm trying to get my head right. And I keep reading, putting words, I'm reading them, they're in my head, and I keep stacking more less than useful words, less than positive, less than filled with light words. I'm stacking my head with it and my energy. And I'm starting to feel like, yeah, you know, oh man, that really sucks. I'll never get out of this. BS. I spent, I don't know, maybe a month rewriting that book or however long it took. Maybe less. And I wrote it on colored paper on a notebook I bought in Singapore. I bought a stack of these beautiful notebooks. Some were pink for my wife and my daughter, and some were yellow, and some were green, like they're just a subtle green, and blue, and I don't know, it's like a gray tint. And every time I go to Singapore, I'd stack them up. They had small ones and big ones because I love color. You feel color. And why does McDonald's put the yellow outside, right? They know. They know the golden arches. That pulls you in. So, the words. I wrote the words because I'd had enough. That was probably 2005. That's a lot of self-help books I read from like 1982 to 2005. It's like more than 20 years, right? The journey, learning, going to events, going to, thought leaders and all this kind of stuff, and business and all kinds of plaques on the wall. But that doesn't matter. It's the takeaway. That's a piece of paper. It's what's here that matters. It's how you show up with the words that you speak. Are the words you speak uplifting? Oh my God, it's rainy, it's windy, it's gray, it's so cold outside. Oh man, that's like, or you feel that fresh breeze, that like clean air blowing and cleaning everything away, making the forest or the land fresh and clean for the spring time to come. And so what do you see out of those words? You see a brighter day. Even though it's gray and it's rainy and it's windy and it's like, I was in Melbourne, Australia when I opened my company there in 2000. They go, oh man, it's winter time there. It's like unbelievable. My team told me, my manager and my sales lady, she's like, we don't go out in this weather. Are you crazy, Peter? It's 55 degrees. It's windy and it's raining. This is horrible. What am I thinking? Blizzard, New England, 20 degrees, northeaster. And anyway, it's how we define in our head. But in our head, we see pictures, but they come out to be words. But when we're talking to ourselves, right? We self-talk. We beat ourselves up. Got to stop it. That's really like what I did it for a long time. We all have that inside. We all have a self-doubt, and we just have to lift it up. Oh, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Look, please just learn from it, move forward. And this is human, okay? I mean, like overly, it's just like, let's get on with life and move into it. So where do words matter? Words you speak, everything you speak, it's a vibration. It's a T-row? Cut that. Sorry. Someone came in looking for the keys to my car, and it was one of our drivers. So, back at it. So the words that you vibrate, first of all, in your own head, that you think, are they uplifting? Are they dark? So, I mean, in the simplest forms, oh, it's so dark and deep and dark. And I like, no, it's just lacking light. And, if it's on the less than positive side, that statement. So we want to say lacking light because we want to focus on light, except for there's some people that want to focus on the darkness. Okay. And I don't go there. I just don't find any joy in that. I focus on the lack of light in my head, in my words. Oh, it's not very bright. Really lacking a lot of light. So now the word that's in my head is light. When I say, oh, that's really bad, what's the vibration of that word in your head, out to other people? Did you lift them up with your words, or did you pull them down with your words? And what about you? You're vibrating. It's in your head first. It's got a lot of stuff going on before that word goes out. Doesn't seem like it, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and wonder why we don't feel right. Okay? When our words, it's the mind that everything, whether you feel good, and you how do you say it? Like, I'm not ready to hop on my bike and ride like hell and have a good time. I don't, or oh, I feel so tired and so bad. No. I mean, if you verbalize that actually can propel you forward by reframing the words you use. And I have a whole series of Words That Matter videos. Just ask us for them and click on the link. Subscribe. Because if I started working on myself in 1982, like it was January, right? The end of January. Probably in February. I could read. And I started working on myself. 82 to 2005 when I rewrote that. That's 23 years of figuring out how to sculpt. This is really important. After probably 28 years, I decided, and it's in some of these videos I talk about it, how to sculpt your words in your head. They can show up. Then you are the sculptor. You have to choose and manage mind management. You have to choose those words. you put them in the order that you want to speak them. I mean, it all happens very quickly, doesn't it? Too fast for some of us, because boom, we say something we didn't want to say. So a practice that touches a lot of areas. So first, let's be present. Let's be in the moment. Take a deep breath, right? Just take a deep breath and get yourself in the moment. Collect your thoughts, like they're maybe all over the place. Some people have a real challenge with that. I know that. But it's the breath. Take a breath. Physiology. Take a walk. But, you know, that's a whole nother thing, you know, if you're going to put in some time. But I recommend it if you have a big challenge. If you have a challenge, you just want to make some shift, like it's a big shift. But if you are, you know, pretty much comfortable in your space, but you're still, you know, you got words that don't lift you up. They're disempowering words. So in some training, you will hear, it's like probably some NLP or also some other different types of training. I don't know what the science is. It doesn't matter, because it really comes out to the simplicity of when you write a sentence and it's got a less than useful word in it, and you say don't with a less, or you say do with a less, whatever that less, that's the word that sticks out, whether it says don't or do or yes or no, whatever it is, that word is the power word in that sentence. So that's what sticks with you, whether it is don't or it won't or I won't. And you put in a less than useful word, I highly suggest you flip it. I catch myself, actually, I catch myself, is it a lot? Well, I would consider it a lot, because I think my structure of my words, when I'm speaking, I really want it to be consistently on the upside, useful, high vibration, positive words that will lift me up. I've done a pretty good job with it, but there are, when I'm talking about it and practicing, and then I do something that makes me look like I'm human, like I just said, let's not use this, and I do it, then I have slipped, and that's fine, because it's all a work in progress. So we have to skip up the beating. Oh my God, geez, Peter, you really aren't that good, because look, you screwed up, didn't you? You're saying, watch your words, say it this way, then you just said it that way. Oh my God, how could you do that, right? This is real. This is get real. Look, I'm not pretending that I'm some kind of Superman here. I'm calling it the way I lived it and the way I still live it. So when you're going along your journey and flow, you don't beat yourself up. You say, oh, that's a lesson. I'll remember that lesson, and I'll put it over here in the lesson file. And when I come across the same situation, I shall remind myself. And we can do physical things, like we can do physical things, pull on our finger, we can do all kinds of things, punch our hand, punch our head, do anything you want as a switch to remind you. I mean, it's work. It's things I teach. I'm not going to do it here, but there's tools you can use to keep your languaging, your words. So I was saying, like, after 28 years, I don't know, it could be 28, 27, 29, whatever it is, after a long time of working very hard to live in a energetic, positive, uplifting space, like every day that I'm alive, every day. I haven't had a day that I've been dead yet, but it felt like it. And I didn't like that feeling. So that's why I'm here sharing what I'm sharing. 28 years, what happened? I'm like, because I'm an artist and I like to think deep, and I do a lot of philosophical, like writing. I love philosophy, and I love profound stuff that isn't, your everyday stuff. I like to go it's just a level deeper or a level higher, however you want to call it. And how does it apply? I'm thinking, as an artist, as a creator, as a thinker, what is this? I am sculpting. The word comes in. I organize my words. They become a sculpture as to the way I'm going to present or say my words. Peter, that seems like a lot of work. It was. It still is. But it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit to stop and think before we speak. Stop, organize, think, present, and present positively. How is this? Real quick, it's like flash, flash, flash. Is this going to help someone or is it going to hurt them? Okay, it's going to lift them up, me or them or us. Is this going to be a useful, uplifting exchange, whether it's just one word, 100 or 1,000? Is it going to be useful? Well, we have the choice. And today, especially, God, man, so from the platform I live on every day, and there's people that want the same, the positivity, a happy life, a simple life, or you can make it complicated as you want, but you want a good life, right? And then we get bombarded with all these people's stuff that has nothing to do with us. And they think it should. And we need to get in control, every one of us. So I spoke in Beijing, China, about at a scuba diving show, because I have a scuba nautical sea life line of jewelry, and I spoke there a few years back. And when you look up the statistics about plastic and trash and pollution in the sea, the rivers, wherever they are, China is the #1 contributor. Oh, but we don't in America, or we don't in Australia. Oh, they do it all for you in China. That's why you buy shit made in China. It's cheap, and you don't have to have the resources, figure out where you're going to put all that stuff. Don't buy Chinese crap and don't support that way. Anyway, back to the stage. So I went on the stage, and my subject is 1. Sustainability starts with one. In 7-Eleven, I tell them, don't give me bags. Actually, now they don't have bags there. It has nothing to do with me. But when I say it now, they go, oh, yeah, we don't give out bags. No plastic bags. I'm like, yes. And when I'm on a stage, so before that, what do? People think, oh, it's this organization and it's that. It is. They're very, very helpful, very powerful. But they're not in the everyday life, are they? Like you or me. So I'm like, how? My daughter even said, Dad, be quiet. No, you're being rude. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's tough love is what it is. Tough love. And I'll smile and let them know. Look, and some people even got offended. Oh, you think Thailand's dirty? No. Well, yes, sometimes when I see bags and stuff and they're cleaning it up. And it's not whether it's Thai, American, Chinese, but the Chinese are the biggest abusers. So I happened to be on the stage. That's what I thought was a very important subject. And it was the power of one. Ask Gandhi. Right? The power of one. The power of words. Gandhi didn't have guns. Gandhi didn't carry a machete. He had the most powerful weapon in the world. And if you haven't looked at the news lately, everything, pages are nothing but words and images to support the words. It's really disgusting because those are the words that I'm asking you to oppose in a one-by-one way every day. What does that mean? It means when you go out So I was in this store buying something for my jet ski. Beautiful sunny day, July, a couple of years ago in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, they have a tendency to focus on the less than useful, or the less than pleasant, or the less than sunny. So I'm in line, and this lady goes, I go, it's a beautiful day. I said, it's so sunny, so beautiful. I'm just like, what, and the cashier said, yeah, it's so nice. And this lady behind me goes, don't worry. Oh, they said tomorrow it's going to be cloudy and rain. It's going to be really bad, And I'm like, why? Why are we going into, tomorrow's not even here. Why are we going into cloudy and rain? Why aren't we enjoying the moment? And furthermore, I told that we got into a little nice friendly exchange. Not so long, but I made it long enough so that a lot of people could hear me, and I made it noisy. And that's what I did in 7-Eleven with the bags. Words matter. So in a positive tone, I said, just expect the best to happen, and it will. But you see, with a group or a culture of people, such as in Massachusetts or in New England, that are always focusing on the rain, the dark, the weather will change. So don't worry, the weather will change. Yeah, well, because you expect it to. You put the vibe, and that's what you get. And this is what I said at the cash register. And I said to this woman, I go, why don't you tell every customer who comes here that says, oh, don't worry, it's going to rain tomorrow. You go, no. If you believe it's going to be sunny, and I believe it's going to be sunny, and we all believe it's going to be sunny, it will be sunny tomorrow. Because I'll tell you what, when I went to San Francisco back in the 80s to catch merchant ships to the Far East, they told me it was foggy and cloudy every morning. I'll tell you what, it's hard. I just like, why? What's going on? Every day was a sunny day. Seriously, serious. It was like, where's the fog? There's no fog. It was sunny every day. I was a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it was sunny. When I went down the Oregon coast, it rains every year, every winter, fall, spring in Oregon, in Washington State, 1992. I bought a tent. I drove up and down the coast. There was a drought. I don't know, but that's real. That really happens. And I just, and all this practice, because when you put an intention, when you put the power out there, and you expect that you just keep vibrating it, keep doing it, then it will come back. Don't know when, it doesn't matter, but it's all in the practice. It's just all in the doing, and expecting takes a while, because we've been taught to expect other things than the best, except there's a few word sculptors out there. Life sculptors that sculpt their life like a piece of art, like you should. So I'm like, here's my words that matter bracelet. These words matter to me, and you have words that matter to you. And I went to an event where someone said, put 3 words in your phone. And I said, okay, he inspired me. Brendan Sharp inspired me with the words. And to put it, I have always had a words collection, but he had a bracelet. And I said, he goes, oh, and I got this bracelet on Etsy, and it's really cheap. And I go, yeah, it's cheap. Why? You don't even want to use that word, cheap, first of all, if you're trying to lift people up. And it's made, it's got the word. So I asked them, put this word on there, and it's got a little snap, a little leather snap. And it's like $50. I don't call that cheap. And it's made probably by slave labor in India, someplace, maybe in China. I don't know where it's made. But generally, that's the case, unless you do your homework. So I said, I want something. My upside down I am. I want something disciplined focus, vibrant focus, right? And you can change this out. You want to change the words? Hey, I don't want to bracelet with the same words all the time because I'm changing. I'm in flux. I'm in flux all the time, right? My other ring here, this one I did in 2005, way before I ever went to Brendan's little event there. But thank you, Brendan, for taking me to the next level. That's one thing he's good about, bringing you to the next level, except for the masterminds where you got to have cheese and hot dog on your fried chicken. Brendan, I'm not going to let you go on that one. Okay, so here, right? Passion, courage, focus. Bam. Okay, I'm doing that. I'm doing passion, focus, courage today. I'm doing vibrant on the other side. How many words do you want? I have them in my phone too. But my wife is like, man, how many times is that phone going to go off? She doesn't talk like that. She goes, Peter, that's really annoying, right? It is. It annoys me. So why would I have this beautiful bracelet, especially if somebody's in recovery, and that's a triangle, and they're going to reach for a drink, and they see that triangle, and they're like, no, it saved their life. These words will save your life, and they are created with high energy, high intention, and vibration that matters. Because the words matter. The people that make this jewelry matter. They put their heart and their soul into it. And I tell them, you, the buyers, the sellers of the jewelry, love it because it's so beautiful. It's their hands, not my hands. I'm the orchestrator, okay? And I like it that way. I tried making jewelry. No. I'll design it all day long, but I don't have the patience to make it. That's where I learned. In recovery, patience, tolerance, and whatever the other word is. But I live into it, okay? Patience, tolerance, acceptance, right? Acceptance. We seem to be missing a lot of acceptance these days around the world. It's my way, or, well, hell, I'll just kill you, or I'll arrest you. It's my way. No, it's not. It's my way. Let me live free. Why would I need to live under your ideas? No. It's got to be your way. Freedom. I mean, this is 101 countries. I am like my gut. I am, and I have no apologies because I'll tell you, like you're tapping on my shoulder of freedom. I already got thrown off Facebook as an individual. Why? Because I'm showing you ways to have your own power. They don't want people talking about, oh man, you got to do it my way. No, you do it your best way by. I'll just sum it up here. Don't forget to click on the link because I got some good stuff. I have some very good stuff. And you know what? I might give a piece of jewelry away free online when you leave the comments of what are your words that you want to live into. What do you find in your life useful words that you must and you feel so strongly about? Could be one. It could be two. It could be three. There's a power in three. There's like a trinity. There's a trinity thing. 3, 6, 9. 9 is, ask Tesla. Okay, goes deep. But just know there's magic in numbers. There's magic in energy. You carry that with you. You wear that. You remind yourself. Pick the... Excuse me, lime juice. Balance the pH. I got to show you. I can't. I got to show you. Twice a day. Purple. It's got some fennel. This is leaves off tree that grow in my backyard. Really great for balancing your energy, sugar, and all kinds of stuff. A couple of times a day. I tell you, it's magic. Throw it in the blender. Turn it on. There's no work. Wash the blender. Do it again. Rinse, repeat. So please follow. but leave your words. What words are important to you in your life when you wake up? So what could be the other, what do they call it, an antonym? Is it synonym? Similar words, same meaning. Antonym, is it the opposite word? That you want to replace. Power up and start using replacing. Oh, that's so painful. No. You want to say, that wasn't really very pleasurable experience. What's the word you're focusing on? Pleasure. It's that simple, but it takes practice, 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 practice. And you need tools. You definitely need tools to remind you. When they're in front of you, you're reminded. And then the phone. I use the phone for reminders all the time because I forget and I can't. I'm running businesses. I got stuff to do, people to see, places to go to, fairs, festivals, and events. Gotta live life, but live it joyful. Don't let anybody beat you down. Choose, sculpt your words. 1, the words come into your head. Okay, organize them. Stop. Breathe. Exhale. The word's still there. Actually, probably a few disappeared. And some are left over, the ones that are really important. Structure them. Make a gap between those words and your mind. Those words are there. You control it. You're managing those words. Boom. Let me see. Right there. You're managing those words. Now they're all messed up. Now you put them in order. This is the way I'm going to restructure the way they're going to be spoken. I'm going to choose a way to represent the same meaning on a higher vibration and a higher level. That's it. Then I shall speak and add a smile to it. Smile. I have a book. I think it's called by Paramahansa Yogananda. I've been listening to that guy for reading his books forever. Probably since I went to Paul's bookstore in 1991, 2, and found a little leather bound. They don't make them anymore. I got the last copy, actually, from the foundation, from one of our clients years later. And I'm not going to tell that story, and I've been studying this, and he's a smart, he has a cassette tape. And I go, smile, millionaire, right? So where do you want your millions to be? Sure, I want them in the bank, but I want them everywhere. I want everything to matter. Words matter, smiles matter, our showing up matters. And no matter what, I'll just be driving along the road and I may not be smiling. I just break into a smile driving down the road, and I'll just go into one of these. And I just feel, and I'll tell you what, boom, I start to feel happy for no reason, right? I mean, it's silly stuff. No, it isn't. You call it whatever you want. You say, that's stupid. I go, really? You know how good I feel? How do you feel? And that's all. I'm not saying it's you or me or, there's no better here. It's just, how do you feel? Are you feeling the way you need to feel or want to feel? So if you're not, choose. Then choose your words. Structure words. Sculpt your words. First sculpt your mind. Sculpt your words. Little in parentheses. Speak your words. Sculpt your life. So you will have spoken sculpted words for a sculpted moment, a sculpted day, a sculpted life. So your life becomes the piece of art, the sculpture that it is. It can be. How do you do that? How does someone make a sculpture? They got this big pile of stuff. You chip away what you don't want. What remains is your sculpture. You chip away the words you don't want. What remains is the words you want. The words that uplift us. Thank you, Hand, for showing up. Uplifts. This is Peter Stone, chilling, living, loving life, and saying, I hope you are too. If you have not come back, please leave your words below. Ask us about our webinars, about the things that we're putting together. Like 2021 needs to be a powerful year. I've been working on this stuff for a long time. Like I started learning about speaking and presenting in 2009. And I tried this, it didn't work, tried that, didn't work, tried that, but I'm still here, you know. This is like, what, 11 years, 12 years later? I don't know. Practice, 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 practice the words. Practice, practice, practice. Never mind. Practice the right things. Practice the right things that make you feel good. I'll see you later. Connect. Leave your comments. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Peter Stein saying thanks.